Good morning, 22nd of May 2020. This is a video I wanted to make about IMEC. So it will be regarding the director position candidacy. I have been 3 times candidate in IMEC and I wanted to start now with my 5 minutes of fame regarding how I defended my election as director. Now there should be in the AGM election or not, because it is the first time we are going to be digital. I made other video before regarding these digital AGMs, how it is safeguarding the ecology, our environment, and how important it is that these kind of videos can be seen before making a decision regarding who you want to vote. So I will start right now at the 1 minute and 10 seconds. The reasons why I want to be director at IMEC, it is not a selfish one, but for the interest of the maritime employers community. We employ 300,000 seafarers. I did mention these points, which it is very simply here stated, and then also I will start with the point number 1, which is reduce ITF fees from $330 per year per position to, let's say, $2 per month. I think is responsible for, say, yearly $24. Why? Because ITF has some 30%. You can correct me below and give comments. 30% of world fleet. But if the fees were reduced 90%, then probably we could grow the ships covered by ITF agreements towards, say, 90, 60, 70%. There is a lot of communities of corporate social responsibility, for example, Singapore, Panama, flag of convenience image, and transparency would involve into improving the image of society, the health of seafarers nowadays so important, having the tests on board, and the vaccine having for seafarers. So I am not going to explain more about this because I only have 5 minutes as director, and this is kind of like what would happen if these candidates, we could see the videos in our maritime community. Health prevention, we could have apps, we could have PNIs involved into the app of health prevention. It could reduce the costs and the accidents and the illnesses of the seafarers in huge amounts, and it would improve the accounts of PNI covers. We could expand the cover to the family. We could expand into having, say, the cover of your kids, your wife, your husband, and the hospitalization. This is an area that PNIs have to think how to broadly expand this. Also, the bank transfers, it is an area of interest because banks, we could make strategical agreements with suppliers. I mentioned ITF, I mentioned PNIs, I'm mentioning now the banks, for example, having transfers much cheaper, direct. And even banks could also expand and broadly the area of competence regarding intrinsic value diversification of 3 million seafarers payrolls, which is a total of about 3.6 trillion intrinsic value in 100 years. Control of these, and then bank accounts could be foreign, the seafarers could have all kind of insurance and so on. Then also the endorsements, we could have a $20 flat fee, the medical, drug and alcohol, passport, seamen, free penal certificates. Associations could have social corporate responsibility and free membership for IMEC, because then we could have the whole world employers, our voice would be much bigger, and instead of 300,000, we could have then something like 1.5 million seafarers on board and 3 at home. Then cadets and SEP SEPF, $10 per month. These kind of grants that we have now in IMEC, I do not believe that are positive. I believe it is much better to reduce that the gross wage and the net wage is the same, and that what we pay, it is the minimum cost, this simple system, and then we don't have to go into the cadet to officer program grant, we don't have to go into rating to officer program grant, because most of these welfare fund, for example, grant also, it is 12.5, now I think it's 16% of ITF fees. Now, these kind of grants are complicated to start asking and receiving the monies, because there is a change of management, change of crew manager, there is change of crew, there is a lot of changes, and it is very complicated. Now, I am going to arrive to my 5 minutes of fame now, soon. I did also write here more points, up to 20 points, yes, the reasons why I should be director, so that the tax, the bureaucracy, the fines in the crew management service could be eliminated, and the corporate civil responsibility of crew management companies could be included by P&Is. This is something very important. Also, the class certificate should issue the ISO 9001 certificates and multi-site very cheaply. And this is my 5 minutes. Goodbye. Thank you.